We're going to see some of the shelters that past students have designed. All the current students live in the shelters that previous students have built. This has been going on ever since the 1930s when the fellowship, Frank Lloyd Wright, came out here to the desert, and they set up tents originally. Everyone lived in tents in the desert while they were building the main buildings on site. What they are now is a part of our thesis project, where in our third year we design and build a shelter that we then stay in, and then that future students will stay in as they go to school here. So this is Brittle Bush. It's one of the student shelters. Currently Michael is living in here. This was built by Simone de Aguero, who was a student here at Taliesin. And it's actually one of the more unique shelters in that it features rammed earth walls. So this is using dirt and mixing concrete with it for the walls, with steel all along it, and then a tensile fabric is the roof. And the only downside of this one is the roof fabric isn't waterproof, so when it rains, Michael has to set up a tarp over his bed so that it doesn't soak his bed. But it's pretty effective in terms of keeping it shaded, and it allows light to still come through it without actually being way too hot. So this is this concrete slab is for the bed platform, and then underneath we have the fireplace. And so the idea was that you would light a fire underneath the bed, and it would heat up the slab here, which would then radiate heat up into the bed, so that if it's a cold night and you light a fire, when you're sleeping, you'll have the heat radiating and keeping you warm. The idea of this shelter is not very different from the original shepherd's tents that they set up when they were here, in that the original shepherd's tents were on a concrete base, so you have a solid sort of permanent base, and then the fabric lightweight canvas on top of it. And so this is still of the same sort of idea, where you have the rammed earth concrete base and then a lightweight fabric on top of it. So, and much of Taliesin West is actually the same idea. Originally the buildings were all the heavy concrete base with a lightweight fabric of canvas over top. So as a beginning budget, you're given $2,000 by the school to start your shelter. And often that will just get you started in terms of buying some of the materials that you need. And most people will have to reach out for donations for everything else. And so a lot of the construction is done by the person who designed it themselves and their fellow school classmates. Simone has a plaque here that's thanking all the people that donated, whether it be their time or their money or materials. And a lot of what the process is about selling your idea to people and about getting people on board and willing to donate materials or money to you to help support your cause.